So far, the US government has approved over $113 billion to be sent to Ukraine, with over $75 billion of that already being sent. European countries have already sent over $77 billion of their own money, and just yesterday, the United States government approved another $425 million to be released to Ukraine. That money for long-term spending and laser-guided munitions. That's right, the United States government is taking taxpayer money, sending it over to Ukraine, and then requiring that Ukraine spend that money on US-made military weaponry. And what the media and the government have failed to tell you is that this war is not winnable. For the last year and a half, they've been saying to you, if we support Ukraine, give them enough aid, militaristically, they can win this war against Russia. This is a lie. And even CNN is starting to pick up on this. I'm going to show you this clip here where they're going to finally admit the truth. But I'm also going to tell you where they're still lying to you. And then I'm going to let you know why this is happening now and what you should expect in the next couple months, because I guarantee you the media is going to turn on this news story and you're going to start to hear a little bit of a different tune.
After months of a counteroffensive to wrest territory from Russia, new reporting from Time magazine reveals that while Ukrainian President Zelensky is still deeply committed to the fight, some of his advisors are worried. One of Zelensky's aides telling Time he deludes himself. We're out of options. We're not winning. But try telling him that. And that sobering assessment extends beyond the civilian government. Ukraine's commander-in-chief for the armed forces saying this to The Economist. Just like in the First World War, we have reached the level of technology that puts us into a stalemate. There will likely be no deep and beautiful breakthrough. A stalemate which was not the characterization over the last several months.
They've already acknowledged that they're not going as fast as they would like. That said, they are moving. It's not a stalemate. They're not just frozen. The Ukrainians are moving.
We do not assess that the conflict is a stalemate. We are seeing it continue to take territory on a methodical, systematic basis.
We've seen good progress in the counteroffensive, which is very heartening. We want to make sure that Ukraine has what it needs not only to succeed in the counteroffensive, but has what it needs for the long term.
And the reality on the battlefield? Well, we can show you. Those silver slivers of yellow are Ukraine's counteroffensive gains, and it really isn't a whole lot. Now, the ground in Ukraine is hardening now for another long winter, and the fight in the United States over how much aid to give it is getting more intense. Congress has authorized roughly $113 billion so far, but polls suggest that the American people's willingness to support Ukraine is waning.
Now, what shall we start with? How about the lie that CNN is still telling you, that this is now a stalemate? It seems like finally they're on the side of truth, but really they're still misleading you. This is not a stalemate. Russia has gotten exactly what it wanted. This is a Russian victory. Russian military already has control of the Donetsk area, the Luhansk area, the Donbas region, and the area north of Crimea. All they're doing now is fortifying the areas that they've already controlled so that they can maintain control of the land that they originally wanted. The Russian government has no interest in controlling all of Ukraine. They never had. They don't want to take control of a people group that want nothing to do with them. They only wanted to take the area with the people in it that wanted to be back a part of Russia, which they've already done. So stalemate? I don't think so. Russia wins and now they're stronger for it, and the United States is weaker and poorer after funding this thing for the last year and a half. And now CNN is at least doing a little bit of a journalistic job where they're starting to show the US government officials saying that this is a winnable thing when in reality it's not. In just a moment, I'm going to tell you exactly what to expect from Biden, his administration, and the media in the upcoming months, because it's going to change big time. But why now? Why is CNN now finally becoming journalists after lying for a year and a half? Because there's a new conflict on the scene where more US money can be taken and spent, and US opinion of spending money in Ukraine has now dried up. So right now, US and European officials are meeting with Zelensky and they're telling him, it's over. No more money's coming in. We're not going to get any more approval. And so what's going to happen in the upcoming months? Well, basically, they're going to beg Putin for an end to this war, and he's going to get everything he wanted from the very beginning, except for the fact that we had to see thousands of lives lost, hundreds of billions of dollars spent, economies ravished across the world, and other people became very rich through this entire thing. And my thoughts are the Biden administration is going to try to do this before the next election because they want to tout this as a win. That's right. They're going to spin whatever seat ceasefire agreement they come up with between Ukraine and Russia as a win for Ukraine and as a win for the United States government. See, it's over. It's done. We've come up with an agreement. We've been able to win this war. All the meanwhile, they're completely lying to you. And they want to do this before the next election because he's going to tout this as a victory for him. And he thinks it's going to help him get reelected. Just wait for it, because although CNN did a little bit of journalism on this one, finally, they are going to start once again to do the dirty work of the Biden administration as they start to tout how a ceasefire and a new agreement between Ukraine and Russia is an absolute win right now, and it's a win for the Biden administration and all the aid that was sent. But you know the truth, that whole thing is a lie. Many people became rich off of this thing. The coffers have now dried up. Russia's going to get exactly what it wants, and we have a new conflict on the scene where we can turn our focus and money to in the meantime. Of course, here we will keep you up to date on any new information that comes out. I would love to see your comments about this below. What are you thinking about this? As always, I'll catch you on the next one.